On the inhabited worlds, the spirit begins the work of evolutionary progression, starting with the lifeless material of the realm, first endowing vegetable life, then the animal organisms, then the first orders of human existence, and each succeeding impartation contributes to the further unfolding of the evolutionary potential of planetary life, from the initial and primitive stages to the appearance of will creatures. This labor of the spirit is largely effected through the 7 adjutants, the spirits of promise, the unifying and coordinating spirit-mind of the evolving planets, ever and unitedly leading the races of men towards higher ideas and spiritual ideals. Mortal man first experiences the ministry of the spirit in conjunction with mind when the purely animal mind of evolutionary creatures develops reception capacity for the adjutants of worship and of wisdom. This ministry of the 6th and 7th adjutants indicates mind evolution crossing the threshold of spiritual ministry, and immediately are such minds of worship and wisdom function included in the spiritual circuits of the divine minister. When mind is thus endowed with the ministry of the Holy Spirit, it possesses the capacity for, consciously or unconsciously, choosing the spiritual presence of the Universal Father, the Thought Adjuster. But it is not until a bestowal sun has liberated the Spirit of Truth for planetary ministry to all mortals that all normal minds are automatically prepared for the reception of the Thought Adjusters. The Spirit of Truth works as one with the presence of the Spirit of the Divine Minister. This dual spirit liaison hovers over the worlds, seeking to teach truth and to spiritually enlighten the minds of men, to inspire the souls of the creatures of the ascending races, and to lead the peoples dwelling on the evolutionary planets ever towards their paradise goal of divine destiny. Though the Spirit of Truth is poured out upon all flesh, this Spirit of the Sun is almost wholly limited in function and power by man's personal reception of that which constitutes the sum and substance of the mission of the bestowal sun. The Holy Spirit is partly independent of human attitude and partially conditioned by the decisions and cooperation of the will of man. Nevertheless, the ministry of the Holy Spirit becomes increasingly effective in the sanctification and spiritualization of the inner life of those mortals who the more fully obey the divine leadings. As individuals, you do not personally possess a segregated portion or entity of the Spirit of the Creator Father Son or the Creative Mother Spirit. These ministries do not contact with nor indwell the thinking centers of the individual's mind, as do the mystery monitors. Thought adjusters are definite individualizations of the pre-personal reality of the Universal Father, actually indwelling the mortal mind as a very part of that mind, and they ever work in perfect harmony with the combined spirits of the Creator Son and the Creative Spirit. The presence of the Holy Spirit of the Universe Daughter of the Infinite Spirit, of the Spirit of Truth of the Universe Son of the Eternal Son, and of the Adjuster Spirit of the Paradise Father, in or with an evolutionary mortal, denotes symmetry of spiritual endowment in ministry and qualifies such a mortal consciously to realize the faith fact of sonship with God. 6. The Spirit in Man. With the advancing evolution of an inhabited planet and the further spiritualization of its inhabitants, additional spiritual influences may be received by such mature personalities. As mortals progress in mind control and spirit perception, these multiple spirit ministries become more and more coordinate in function. They become increasingly blended with the over-ministry of the Paradise Trinity. Although divinity may be plural in manifestation, in human experience deity is singular, always one. Neither is spiritual ministry plural in human experience. Regardless of plurality of origin, all spirit influences are one in function. Indeed, they are one, being the spirit ministry of God the Sevenfold in and to the creatures of the grand universe. And as creatures grow in appreciation of and receptivity for this unifying ministry of the Spirit, it becomes in their experience the ministry of God the Supreme. From the heights of eternal glory, the Divine Spirit descends by a long series of steps to meet you as you are and where you are, and then, in the partnership of faith, lovingly to embrace the soul of mortal origin and to embark on the sure and certain retracement of those steps of condescension, never stopping until the evolutionary soul is safely exalted to the very heights of bliss from which the Divine Spirit originally sallied forth on this mission of mercy and ministry. Spiritual forces unerringly seek and attain their own original levels. Having gone out from the eternal, they are certain to return thereto, bringing with them all those children of time and space who have espoused the leading and teaching of the indwelling adjuster, those who have been truly born of the Spirit, the faith sons of God. The Divine Spirit is the source of continual ministry and encouragement to the children of men. Your power and achievement is, according to His mercy, through the renewing of the Spirit. Spiritual life, like physical energy, is consumed. Spiritual effort results in relative spiritual exhaustion. The whole ascendant experience is real as well as spiritual. Therefore, it is truly written, "It is the Spirit that quickens. The Spirit gives life." The dead theory of even the highest religious doctrines is powerless to transform human character or to control mortal behavior. What the world of today needs is the truth which your teacher of old declared, not in word only, but also in power and in the Holy Spirit. The seed of theoretical truth is dead, the highest moral concepts without effect, unless and until the Divine Spirit breathes upon the forms of truth and quickens the formulas of righteousness. Those who have received and recognized the indwelling of God have been born of the Spirit. You are the temple of God, and the Spirit of God dwells in you. It is not enough that His Spirit be poured out upon you. The Divine Spirit must dominate and control every phase of human experience. It is the presence of the Divine Spirit, the water of life, that prevents the consuming thirst of mortal discontent and that indescribable hunger of the unspiritualized human mind. Spirit-motivated beings never thirst, for this spiritual water shall be in them a well of satisfaction springing up into life everlasting. Such divinely watered souls are all but independent of material environment as regards the joys of living and the satisfactions of earthly existence. They are spiritually illuminated and refreshed, morally strengthened and endowed. In every mortal there exists a dual nature, the inheritance of animal tendencies and the high urge of spirit endowment. During the short life you live on Urantia, these two diverse and opposing urges can seldom be fully reconciled. They can hardly be harmonized and unified. But throughout your lifetime, the combined spirit ever ministers to assist you in subjecting the flesh more and more to the leading of the Spirit. Even though you must live your material life through, even though you cannot escape the body and its necessities, nonetheless, in purpose and ideals, you are empowered increasingly to subject the animal nature to the mastery of the Spirit. There truly exists within you a conspiracy of spiritual forces, a confederation of divine powers, whose exclusive purpose is to effect your final deliverance from material bondage and finite handicaps. The purpose of all this ministration is that you may be strengthened with power through His Spirit in the inner man. And all this represents but the preliminary steps to the final attainment of the perfection of faith and service, that experience wherein you shall be filled with all the fullness of God. For those who are led by the Spirit of God are the sons of God. The Spirit never drives, only leads. If you are a willing learner, if you want to attain spirit levels and reach divine heights, if you sincerely